Sungai ni sungai on the field ke mau tai. Di tu buat dah. Enggak tu mau ni.
Halt. Halt. Ôi trời. Xong rồi, cái đi bộ kia đây. Không bộ kia đây.
We won! Testing times yet again for the state of Manipur. A land of hills and valleys, divided by decades of mistrust, territorial claims, and ethnic fault lines. What began as localized disputes has evolved into one of India's longest-running internal conflicts. The conflict first ignited between Naga and Kuki groups over ancestral lands. And decades later, Meitei Kuki tensions over land and identity deepened the divide. Today, the fault lines have multiplied in what was once a two-sided conflict. Naga groups observers in recent years are active participants again, a sign that buffer zones and security deployments were no longer enough to contain overlapping ethnic interests.
The UNC and the Kuki NP have also met in Tangkhul, and it's a transparent situation. You cannot transplant poppy cultivations from somewhere physically unless you do in pictures, which the Manipur police have also been a part of. After the case Songling incident, the next day on media, they showed photographs from somewhere else and, impacted that with a situation that they're trying to justify with case Songlong. Yes, independent investigation is very important. And in fact, allow me to come in with an anecdote here. Pre-2023, before the problem started, I happened to be in conversation with a very eminent Meitei politician. He's no longer in the position that he held. And in a conversation over WhatsApp, he said these poppy cultivations are a nuisance, etc., etc. And I highlighted the fact that these are, if they exist, villagers trying to eke out a living because none of the funds for the hills, which has to come through the Imphal Secretariat, reaches these areas. And they are helpless and they are trying to make a living.
The violence is no longer isolated, but it is spreading in Imphal. The Manipur Kangba Kongchat rally, a chant for a safe Manipur, reflected the growing anxiety. Times for the state.
People of Manipur has now understood and realized that the ongoing crisis in the state of Manipur is completely a design of the government of India. And now it is time for the government of India to change its policy of waging proxy war against the people of Manipur using these Tangkhul narco-terrorist groups, which they have been mobilizing since 2008 in the name of a very deceitful agreement called Suspension of Operation Agreement. They have also failed to address the gross human rights violations of the people of Manipur for over 2.5 years. The IDPs of the state of Manipur are yet to return back to their respective homes. The people, the entire population of 3 million population are yet to get access to the state highways and national highways freely. And the government of India has not taken any necessary action, visible action against those narco-terrorist groups who has openly carried out terrorist attacks to the IDPs, to the innocent people, and to various aspects in the state of Manipur.
Nearly a year into President's rule, residents navigate prolonged unrest and deep political uncertainty. In the hill districts, protests have emerged over poppy cultivation crackdowns. The campaign tied to alternate livelihood efforts has intensified tensions over land and belonging. But the crackdown has done more than destroy crops. Instead, it has sharpened competing claims over land, identity, and political leverage. In 2025, Prime Minister Modi visited Manipur with a message of dialogue over division. He explicitly called for a strong bridge of harmony between the hills and the valley, which was seen as a soft nudge away from the Kuki demand for total separate administration.
मुझे विश्वास है मणिपुर देश की ग्रोथ का एक बहुत मजबूत सेंटर है.
President's rule was extended, maintaining fragile peace, leaving meitei political groups feeling sidelined. Hope was offered, but change remained elusive. For the first time in this cycle of violence, apex trial bodies sat together, a rare moment of dialogue, in a state desperate for peace. But even as leaders spoke, tensions simmered on the ground. And now, a new Chief Minister, Yumnam Khemchand Singh, has been sworn in. The change in leadership has not brought calm. Instead, the state is once again on edge. In Churachandpur's Tuibong area, protests erupted against the newly installed government. Demonstrators say the leadership does not represent their voice. The immediate trigger was Kuki MLAs extending support to the government. Protesters accused their representatives of defying community sentiment. In Ukhrul's Litan village, violence deepened fears of a widening conflict. Houses belonging to both Kuki and Naga communities were burnt, and crossfiring broke out between armed groups. Authorities say the situation is tense, but under control. Meanwhile, on the ground, mistrust remains.
Now is not the time to stay.
The central BJP leaders have selected Manipur Yumnam Khemchand as the leader of the BJP Legislative Party, and he took on as the Chief Minister of Manipur on February 4th, 2026 as the Chief Minister of Manipur. Subsequently, on February 7th, unfortunately, a fresh tension was escalated in Ukhrul district, Litan, where a Kuki and Tangkhul has been exchanging, a tension between the two communities. Several houses were burned, many were injured. But on February 10, the state government has imposed this internet suspension all over the district. And later on February 13, the internet suspension was lifted.
From decades-old dispute to expanding ethnic fault lines, from promises of harmony to recurring violence, from president's rule to a new chief minister, Manipur remains on edge.
Right now, I'm in one of the very fringe area of the hill range adjoining Imphal East, Ukhrul district and Kamjong district. Manipur has been burning since 3rd May 2023 because of the communal conflict that occurs between the Meitei and the Kuki community. As a result of this conflict, houses of both the communities have been burned down. Several houses of it burned down, and almost 60,000 IDPs of the Meiteis have been displaced, and many Kuki communities have also been displaced.
But the question arises whether the state can prevent the next spark from becoming an uncontrollable fire, as peace is not a moment, it is a struggle that continues in the state of Manipur.